Hello everybody, Iain Robson here. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. Today we are hauling a tractor from Tonopah, Nevada to Redding, California. So this was a suggestion by Anthony. Anthony suggested that we haul a tractor. He said tractors, or he just said tractor actually, not tractors, just tractor. So we have a tractor today. So this is a Dear John tractor. Doesn't match our truck so much, but the trailer does match, so that's fine. So that is what we have for today. And we got 843 kilometers to go. So I still have the tag lift down. And this is kind of a longer load once again. Just because we have this particular style of trailer on the back here, so. But it's also fun, so. Anyhow, so we are going to Redding, California. So let's go ahead, get in the truck itself, turn the lights on. It's 8 a.m. Looks like it's kind of a gray day, unfortunately, so. Not cool for us. Let's put some music on. Apparently this is the 1940s slow dance. This is from the jazz music of YouTube. Coming at you from 8 a.m. at 99. No, I'm just checking. It's one of these. I hate making left turns here. It's 8 a.m. So it's funny. This is why I prefer traveling in the morning, or in the evening in this game, because I often find that you run into a situation where you want to do something and you can't do it unless you're super aggressive, which is, you know, fine sometimes, but like there really should be a light at this intersection, because like look at this, like if I'm going to sit here for this long, I'm going to have to edge my way out, but there's really not a big opportunity between vehicles unless they're turning right, and so far every vehicle has not turned right at all. Alright, so let's get out into the middle of the intersection here now. Now we look at this side. Oh, it's clear. Thankfully. Alright, so a little bit of a journey here. Nothing too crazy. Probably turn that off now. Still got the same engine and gearbox as last time. Nothing too crazy changed there, but it's looking pretty good so far. I did try out a Peterbilt 351. It, from the outside, it looks awesome. From the inside, not so much. So like there's some chrome on the inside, and it doesn't really work very nicely with the game itself, because you can see the reflections, and the reflection you can see is not like one you want to see, sort of thing. So I don't know. That was my feeling. So like, you had, like, see where the screen was right in the middle there? There was a reflection of like what was going on around the vehicle, but like outside of the vehicle, not inside the vehicle, which is what I didn't like about it. So anyhow, that's my feeling about that. Ah well. So open beta is still out. SCS has basically said that now that it's in open beta, basically it's, you know, you're good to go for all intents and purposes. They will release the patch, you know, the next patch fairly soon, I imagine, based on the fact that it is an open beta. When things are in open beta with SCS, it's basically go time for all intents and purposes, so they don't really hold back much. When it's, well, for them at least, open beta basically means, okay, we've already worked out like 99% of the bugs, let's just make sure we did as much as we could, and then they release it to the wild, so to speak, so. Let's put our engine brake on with our cruise control, because I don't have a retarder in this truck. So if I get to a point where I start going over my cruise control speed, then I will then I'll just hit the engine. It'll automatically, engine brake will come on. So actually, one of the interesting changes they made in the new update was the fact that voted #1 by cars. One of the interesting updates they made was the fact that now when you're cruising, like right now I have cruise control on, and when you hit the accelerator, it actually doesn't disengage the cruise control anymore. So like in real life. So in real life, when you hit your accelerator on your car, it'll just speed up, and then it'll return back to its normal speed. So if you want to pass somebody, that's how you can pass them. Which is really neat, in my opinion. So that's like a nice little change they made. It's not a huge change, but you know, it's just big enough to kind of like add like a little bit of extra realism to the game, so to speak. So I think it's a really nice little change they made. Oh wow, that seemed like it was a that turn seemed a little bit faster than it should have been. But yeah, a nice little change. And of course, like I mentioned before, with the steering wheels, they made that change, so you'll be able to interchange your steering wheels, so you can have like one particular steering wheel you like between like different vehicles. So I think that's going to be kind of neat as well. So like, let's say you like the Peterbilt steering wheel, this one I'm using right here. Theoretically, with this new update they're coming out with, you should be able to use this steering wheel in other vehicles as well. According to what I understand, at least. I'm not a modder, but as far as I understand, that's what you should be able to do at some point, which is really cool. Nice. It looks so dark from inside the cab. Outside it looks so bright. Go figure. I don't understand. Like, the side of the road looks really strange. It looks like it's got bricks on it or something. Is that a common thing in the United States? Like having bricks like that laid on the edge of the road? Or is that just the way it looks? Because I think they do that some places here in Canada. In some communities, it just depends on the type of community it is, basically. Like some of the really nice communities have stuff like that, but it's not like a common thing by a long shot. So SCS has provided some screenshots of the updated scale as well, like how they're changing the scale of the game. So they actually added some updates for that. So that'll be really curious to see, like, you know, from pictures you can see the difference a little bit, but you won't necessarily feel the difference. So it'll be curious to see how that works out when the game is finally released. Looks like it's slowing down up here. Oh, it's still 65, okay. I have a feeling it's going to slow down more though, because we're going through a town. And of course there's a stop sign too, which, you know, you should always stop for. There we go. One thing I did like about the Peterbilt 351 was the engine sound. Was really slick, and like the shifting sounds is really cool as well. So I really like that little. It's such a little thing, but I think they did a really good job with it. But the inside could use a little bit of work, in my opinion, at least. And maybe that's what the Peterbilt 351 used to look like. I don't know. I have never seen one in real life. I've seen lots of like 389s, 379s, 579s. I don't think I've ever seen a 351 that I remember, at least. So maybe at some point in the future I'll see one. I'll have to go to a truck show. But for now, we're just gonna have to deal with what we see in game. Make the turn. There we go. Nice. One thing I did notice though, with the 351, I used a different power of engine. I used a like a 300 horsepower engine, and I found that floating gears with that horsepower in that particular truck was a little bit easier actually. I don't know why that was easier, but it just felt easier. We're going through. We're not stopping. So hopefully you can hear the music. It's pretty quiet in my ears. Let me turn that up a little bit. It's not too bad. It's just a little faint music. Alright, let's see if we can't get past these trucks here. That was a failed attempt at floating that gear, jeez. Getting over here. But I was watching, I think his name is Jeff Faviago, I think his name is, or something like that. And he was playing with like a lower horsepower truck not too long ago as well. Faviano, I think that's how you say his name now. and it was interesting to see what his reasoning was behind it. Like, he has like a shifter, like he has a G27 shifter, and they're like, he has like an addition on top of it. I think Mr. Moose has the same thing. I forget what it's called, but basically it's like you have a shifter, and then it has 2 buttons on it for, like, you know, your engine brake and like your low and high gear, basically. So it's kind of an interesting addition to like your G27. Like, I use this shifter for like American Truck and European Truck Simulator, as well as I use it sometimes for project cars, but not often. But it would be, I don't know, in my mind it would be not useful. Like, I don't play American Truck Simulator enough just to use that shifter knob, I guess. I don't know. And I feel like it might hinder like the accessibility of the keys behind the shifter, so I don't know, maybe it's just me. It still looks pretty neat. It's expensive though. I think it's like $100 or something. And anything that's in USD is like not, it feels like it's double in Canadian, but it's not. It's not quite that bad, but it feels that way sometimes. This song, I don't know, every single time I hear this song, hopefully you can hear it, it feels like I'm in like Star Wars. 555 divorce, get your divorce now. But it always feels like I'm in Star Wars, because it feels like there's the it's the bar they go into, and like there's those 2 guys playing like whatever that thing is, the instrument of some sort. There we go. I must have taken off the engine brake there. Let's get over in this lane. There we go. But I don't know, just one of those strange things. Oh, that's a nice trailer. Interesting enough, if you pay close enough attention to these types of trailers, often you'll see how long the trailer is on the side of it. It'll say like 53 or 54, so, which usually refers to how long it is. So 53 feet, for example, I see a lot of those around here. And same with the box trailers as well. I think they call that a, I don't know if that one's a reefer trailer. I don't think it is. I don't remember. I also picked up a couple of new trucks for my employees in the game. I gave one of them the Volvo that I tried out, the Volvo VNL. It's still an okay truck. I still prefer this one. And then the 351's with somebody else for the time being, so. I don't think I added any new mods. I was talking with Country Gaming not too long ago, and she suggested a few mods. Country Gaming suggested a few mods that I should give it a go or have a look at. So like right now, Country Gaming is like trying out a few of the different the open beta features, and seems to really like it. So I haven't messed around with it at all. If it's an open beta, I'm just gonna wait till it comes out in public, just for the mod support, basically. Because if you corrupt your file from like updating, like, I don't know, it means like starting over again sometimes, which is never fun. Done that before. Alright. Get in the inside lane here. Make sure we have enough space for people to get by. How was it 8 o'clock at night already in this game? Holy smokes. I started at like 9 a.m. Apparently it's like 8 hours has passed already. Sometimes it makes no sense. Yeah, I got my lights on. Just doesn't seem like I do. There we go. But I'm looking forward to when they add some more DLC to this game. I'd be curious to see what exactly they add. Again, wow, merging again. That would be really curious. I think is this still the same speed? They just are slowing down for no apparent reason. Maybe they know something I don't. Is that a police officer? I think it is, yeah. Whoa, this is definitely not 105 area. Sheesh. I don't know, hopefully once they change the scale, some of those speed limits will actually make sense in those areas. Because right now, it doesn't make any sense at all. They just feel way, way too fast for like a truck. But like, so if you look at in the little iPad there, information screen, it says like the speed limit is 113, which would be a little fast for most trucks, I think, because the weight behind the truck and going around the turns that quickly would definitely tip the truck. Actually, in the last video I made about an American Truck Simulator, I asked people about whether they thought American Truck Simulator would be a good way to, like, could you transfer the skills from here into like real life trucking? And some people said there are some aspects in the game that make sense, like that could transfer, but in terms of like a full-on transfer, it seemed like the general consensus was not really. Like, you don't get the feeling of driving a truck from this game. Like, even with like force feedback and all that jazz, you don't quite get the full feeling of it. So, which makes sense. Like, you don't feel the weight of the truck behind you and stuff like that, like, or the trailer and how heavy it actually feels back there. So you only get part of it. You don't get the full deal, basically. So yeah, it's definitely a cloudy day today. Look at that. Yeah, it's pretty darn cloudy. Apparently we gotta watch out for deer. I'd be curious to see if they actually add like deer in the game that go across the road, and if you hit it you get damage and stuff like that. That would be kind of interesting. I don't know what the logistics are, or how easy we do something like that, but I think it's possible. I think it is possible. So I'm going to cruise at 90 kilometers an hour around this area. I think that is not unreasonable. I don't think. One second, let me get a quick sip of water here. Well, that car came out of nowhere. Jeez. This is a pretty windy little road. Like, it seems like we're going pretty fast for a windy road. Like, I don't know. Like I said before, I hope the scale fixes that. But we'll find out. I don't know. I don't know what the timeline is for that. I suspect it won't be for months still. But let's hope it's earlier than that. I know Giants has released some new fact sheets for Farm Sim about some of the new vehicles you can get. I believe they released one about a Deutzfahr, I think, and one about the Lemken. Here's Texaco. We were picking up diesel. This is where we would stop and pick some up. I think they have sulfuric acid there often as well. And I think some other chemicals, I believe. Alright, you gotta slow down. We're making a left turn up here. Alright. Wasn't very good at slowing down there. There's like a dump up there. That's crazy. I don't remember seeing that. Yeah, look at that. I don't think I remember seeing that at all. Huh. So we're in Reading right now. Alright, let's take a look around. What we got? Better be careful, the light's changing. Wouldn't that be my luck? The lights would change and it would be like... okay, gotta turn now. Alright. I guess we're going on the other highway. I don't know why there's not like a connection between the two highways and you have to go through the city to do it. It seems a bit strange. Walmart, in case you want to get something from Walmart. Apparently it's not very busy today. That's the distribution center, I guess. Alright, 65. Can speed up now a little bit, although we are making a turn still. Soon, I should say. Alright. Let's make the turn here. Make sure we take it nice and wide with our trailer. There we go. Pretty close to the railing, but we didn't hit it, which is a plus. Ooh, driver Thomas. 1200, that's 1300 actually. There we go. Car gave us some leeway, which is nice. They don't normally do that. Normally they're just like, oh hey, there's a truck there, let's just drive right past the truck. It's frustrating sometimes. So when I was asking about how easy you could take the skills you learn in this game and put it into real life, and someone said the AI is pretty accurate for like real people, which I thought was kind of funny. Which I guess is true, right? A lot of people aren't very polite. But there's lots of people who are, so. I'm usually not in a rush, so I'm usually the person that like saying like, go ahead, it's fine. Alright. Oh, that's what I was looking at. I was looking at the wrong time, that's why I'm like, why is it so late? Why does it seem like it's, you know, ridiculously late? But it's not. I think I was looking at the estimated time versus the actual time. Whoa. Oh, not 89. Sorry. Alright, so our turn's coming up here. Up on the right. There we go. Okay, so put it into low. So whenever I come off one of those off ramps, I try to put it into low gear. I think that's what they call it. Just because you know you're going to be able to make the turn, or you know you're going to be able to have enough torque in order to make that, the turn, because you're like on a hill and be able to pull the trailer. Alright, make that turn, no one's there, good. Don't want to clip a car. So this is our turn up here actually. Too far away now. I got what, 28 clicks? Not too bad at all. Good timing. One of these days I'll get that right. Looks like there are deer fans there. You know what they say. Drive green, I guess. Alright, so this is our turn coming up. Slow down here. There we go. Not bad. Where do you guys want it? Ah, right there. Okay. That's too easy. That's not that difficult is what I was trying to say. Let's take a wide turn here. Drop it down into 1. Take it nice and slow. Don't hit that. Good. And what I'm trying to do here is just basically have the trailer kind of follow me along so I can just drive straight in there and just drop off without a problem, hopefully. Oh, not bad, not bad. It's like I practiced that or something. Alright, let's see what we got now. Decoupling. Excellent. You can't see it, but I'm doing like a little fist pump. Nice. Got a little bit of XP there, 695. Very sweet. Alright folks, that'll be it for me for today. Another episode of American Truck Simulator. I hope you enjoyed. As always, I always love playing this game, which is why I keep recording it, because I do love playing the game. Anyways, if you like what you saw, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button for some more American Truck Simulator. Let me know what you'd like to see hauled next. Leave a comment below. Alright, I'll catch you guys later.